Hi, my name's Ryan, hiring guru with today's hiring tip. Today we're going to talk about selling your company as an employer of choice. Make sure you stick around to the end. I'll tell you about how to download our new killer job ad workbook. Walks you step by step through how to write a job ad that is guaranteed to increase your applicants by 50 to 300% without spending any extra money and without increasing pay. All right, so last week I went and I spoke to a whole group of city, county, local agency HR folks. A little bit different. Normally I speak in front of a big HR crowd of various different industries, but this time it was this very specific group. And one of my awesome clients at Lehigh City here in Utah hit me up on LinkedIn and said, hey, we want you to come and talk, but we want to choose the message. I'm like, all right, I'll talk on anything. On a whim, I'll talk on anything at all. And he said, we want you to talk about how local governments can set themselves up or sell themselves as an employer of choice. And I gotta be honest, it was the best subject ever to pick for me because it included the word sell right in the title. Anybody coming to that session knew I was gonna talk to them about approaching hiring differently because almost nobody believes hiring is selling. Now, clearly I got in the room and asked for a raise of hands. Who in here thinks that you're trying to sell your company to the job seekers out in the world? And clearly half of them raised their hands because they knew it was the right answer. Even if they weren't doing it, they knew, oh no, I'm supposed to raise my hand and answer this question. But the fact of the matter is when we actually look at the way they approach hiring, when we look at the way they approach pushing their jobs out there and capturing applicants, there is no possible way that you could say with a straight face that you are selling yourself or selling your job to the job seekers. So I have 5 different questions you can ask yourself when you're saying, we believe that we are selling ourselves as an employer of choice. Now let's define employer of choice right off the bat. Employer of choice means it's somebody that a job seeker will choose to apply to. Choosing meaning that they go out and find them. They go out and look for them. That when they see a list of jobs with a bunch of different companies, they say, ooh, that one is the best one. They're choosing it. Now, this isn't just for selling any company as an employer choice. There I was talking about cities and local agencies, but here I'm talking about small and mid-sized companies. Companies that are not Google, Apple, or Facebook. Companies that are not well-known, don't have the biggest brand, the most amount of money, right? They're not the employer of choice. We're just selling us as if we are. That's an important distinction. I mean, those are underdogs, and to me, I love underdogs. So I'm going to give you 5 questions that you should ask yourself if you're saying, well, are we actually selling ourselves as an employer choice? Question number 1, do we have a good product? I mean, if I'm selling a product, and so we need to look at the opportunity of working for us, and we need to say, is this product good? Well, if you're going to grade how good a product is, you need to compare it to everybody else and say, is it unique? Is it compelling? Is it credible? Is it something people would want to choose on its face value? Is it different enough that people want it more than everything else that they have out there? That's number 1. Do we have a good product? Number 2, we need to focus. Do we focus on our differences or the similarities of the product? What I mean by that is when you're actually looking and stacking up your product against everything else, have you done enough to evolve the differences versus just copying and being, yes, me too? In the product world, we never want to be a me too product. A me too product means we just basically copy all the features of our competitor or of the person we're chasing. And that's just not a good product development approach. So do we focus and do we have enough difference between us and everybody else? Number 3, do you understand the target market and are you going to where they're at? I love that. I heard that the other day. They said, look, we go to wherever our target customer is at. Well, that's my question for you. Do you go to where your target is? And specifically, I mean the most qualified applicants. Now, you might say, well, I'm not sure where the most qualified applicants are. Well, it's really quite simple. Instead of looking at your sources of applicants, you look at your sources of hires. Go look at where all your hires came from and see which sources generate the most. Now, there's one problem with using data like that. It's that if you do a terrible job in some sources, then your data isn't representative of the potential. So if you want to know what the real potential is, here's what I can tell you. The best sources of hires are normally employee referrals, your company website, and then job boards. That's right, job boards come number 3 below your own employees, and your own company fans. And so do you go to those places where those targets are residing? Do you use social media, specifically allowing your employees to post your jobs out there? So that's number 3. Number 4, are you making a case for why somebody should want to buy your product? Imagine if a salesperson tried to sell you a car and they simply open up the user manual and they showed you the text on it. Would you buy? Imagine if a car commercial or even the iPhone commercial was just this boring list of all of its actual technical specifications. You wouldn't buy it. It would be boring. It wouldn't make a case for why I should want to buy it. Advertisement is exciting. It calls to me. It tries to tell me why I should want to buy it. It tells me what's in it for me. Most likely, number 4 here, making a case, your job ad, it doesn't make a case, right? So if you're not making a case for why they should buy, then why would they choose you? You might have an awesome job. You might have an awesome place to work. You might have an awesome culture and values and awesome management team, but your job ad could be so boring that nobody would ever know. It's not okay to say, well, they'll know when they buy our product. That's a terrible marketing and sales approach. To say you won't know how, it's like you'll know what's in it when we pass it. That's not how it should work. In order to use your awesome culture, values, benefits, management team, etc., you need to use it as a sales point, which means your ad needs to talk about it. And the final one, right? I told you I'd have 5. Do you make it easy to buy? Just think about that for a minute. Imagine if Amazon.com's core strategy was to make it hard for people to buy a product. You know, Amazon has spent millions and millions and millions of dollars perfecting how easy it is to buy something. I just bought something the other day and they changed it again. Why do you think they do that? They continue to constantly change and evolve the process of buying something to make it easier and easier. Yet my guess is, as an employer, you probably haven't even tried applying for a job, which is the process of buying, or at least saying you want to buy. My guess is you haven't applied forever. My guess is it's super hard and you don't even know it. My guess is you haven't done anything or taken any steps to improve your candidate experience. You haven't pulled out a timer and timed how long it took. You haven't counted up the questions. You haven't asked yourself what questions might be offensive to the job seeker. You probably haven't changed it at all. So again, 5 main questions you can ask. Do we have a good product? Is our product different enough? Are we going to where the target audience is at and going in the way they want us to come to them? Do we make a good case for why somebody would want our product? And number 5, do we make it easy to buy? Those are the 5 questions you should ask to figure out if you're actually even selling anything at all. Because if you're not doing those 5 things, don't even call yourself a salesman, because you're not. You're not a salesperson. Selling and marketing requires focusing on the end user and making it easy and compelling and engaging and exciting to actually engage with your company. So, I told you if you stuck around to the end, I'd tell you how to get our awesome How to Write a Killer Job Ad booklet. This is, again, that going back to what I was talking about today, it walks you through each of these steps. How to understand your target market, how to understand what they want, how to set up your job ad so it will be compelling and make a case for it, for wanting to apply. So download our booklet. It'll walk you step by step through how to do this. Until next time, good luck hiring.